Hello, everyone. We are the Crypto Money Movers, and welcome to Live today. We're going to talk about a couple of things, and we're going to get you familiar with cryptocurrency. So welcome to the show.
What's up, everybody? We back at it. Episode 2.
They didn't cancel us yet.
We haven't kicked off. We back.
They didn't cancel. Hey, it's their fault, man. They didn't cancel us last week, man.
We have another week.
We gotta live another week. Let's go.
Hey, so we're gonna start off today by letting everybody introduce themselves. We're missing a couple guys, you know what I'm saying? We're all busy individuals, so we have important things pop up every now and again that have to, where we really need to be there. So a couple of guys are missing, but we're going to start off by introducing ourselves, and we're going to start off with Crypto Main.
Crypto Main back again. Today I am Wolverine. Why? Because I fight like an inhuman, like a mutant, to make sure that we all learn crypto together as a family. And when I'm successful, you see that Gucci that Crypto Knight has on? That's the result, baby.
I can't with this dude, y'all.
All right.
Every week a new hero.
I can't with him.
He's Crypto Main's always here to protect us, look out for us, and make sure that we're safe. Next up, we have Crypto Murph.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, good people. It's your boy Crypto Murph in the building, and we've been breaking down the charts, doing an analysis. I actually got a gem for you guys today, so make sure you stay tuned. Yeah, we got something we're gonna bring to you. The people have spoken, and they say, I want to know what projects are you guys invested in and you are bullish on. So it's our job to give the people what they want, and that's what we're here to do. And as I always say at crypto, you show me the charts, and baby, I'll tell you the news.
The news.
Murph in the building. Let's get it.
Always ready to learn the news. And who else do we have in our neighborhood crypto skeptic? My boy Ben.
This
Roxel
guy
in the building.
This
already
guy.
know it's your boy. Ben Roxel, aka the Black Bruce Wayne,
Okay.
aka Get Rich or Die Investing, aka Middle-Aged Multi, aka Making This Money Fast and Furious, aka the People's Champ.
Let's get
it.
Let's get it. And last but not least, we have our guy, the neighborhood investor, the god of all this all, Crypto God in the building.
Let's get it.
Assassin when it comes to crypto. Let's get it.
Listen, man, our second show. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you were with us last week, you learned some things, right? Last week, we told you it was during the whole market dropping and blah blah blah. And we told you to buy the dip. And if you listened to us, the next day you were very happy. If you did not listen to us, if you did not listen to that boy Vin Roxel when he was telling you to buy the dip, then you lost out on an opportunity. But guess what? We're gonna have more opportunities, man. Every show we're gonna have another one. So keep it tuned in, and we're gonna get it in. Let's go.
Absolutely.
And I am standing in today. I am your boy Crypto Knight, the only known weakness to Superman. But I am, and that Superman is your almighty dollar.
Let's get it.
But I'm also a knight to protect you of your crypto wallet, here to make sure that you're safe in every situation. Today we're engaging with you, and we're going to engage with each other. We're going to try to do what we can do to see if we can navigate this crazy crypto game. And today we're going to start off with just the basics. We're going to keep it real simple. And we're going to start off with, how do you set up your crypto wallet? How do you set up things, and how do you get involved with this crypto game? How do you actually start investing in this crypto market? And we're going to break that down to you. Where can we start with this? Crypto God, where can we start when it comes to setting up our wallet and going ahead and getting involved in the crypto markets and start investing?
Okay, so I'll tell you this, man. If you watched the show last week, you learned from our boy Crypto Murph that there are millions of coins out there. You don't want to track those yourself. You don't want to do that. You want to tune in. You want us to tell you what we're looking at, because these guys do their work, man. They do their research. They do their thoroughness, and it's always going to come to you with the best information that is available at the time. So don't
Right.
follow these guys on the internet and all this other stuff on social media. If you come here, we vet all our projects, we vet all our information. So if you follow us on IG or here or whatever, you know that the information you're going to be getting is vetted and is current. With respect to how to set up your cryptocurrency account, how to set up your wallet, the first thing you want to do is you want to get into an exchange. All right, an exchange is a platform. Think of an exchange as a marketplace where you can go and research what you want to purchase or what you thinking about purchasing in the future. Right, you can watch the market. You can look. You can you can see what you're interested in. You don't have to make any purchases. You don't have to do anything, and there's no financial obligation to you if you just want to look. When you go to the market and you just want to look, when it's not payday,
Window shopping. You can window shop your cryptos
on these exchanges. You have to spend a dime, right? The exchanges give you, all the information you need when it comes to researching your coins, right? So they give you like the daily, the weekly, the annual, anything you want to know about a certain coin, about a certain project, you can find it on the exchange, and you don't have to pay for that information. Now, if you like something and you want to purchase it, then you can purchase it. When you make a transaction, they charge you a little fee for the transaction. But if you're not making any transactions, you don't get charged anything. Okay. So the first thing I want you guys to do, if you're getting involved in cryptocurrency, get onto an exchange. One of the popular exchanges are, Coinbase. There's Binance, there's Kraken, there's Robinhood. Those are popular exchanges, all right? It's going to be your safest bet. You don't want to go on DeFi. I know you're going to hear about this stuff. People are trying to tell you go on DeFi. There's better projects and all this stuff. Those projects are not as vetted as the ones on the popular exchanges that I just named. And there's just no rules, all right? At least with these projects, you have some safeguards. Now, when you learn the ropes, right? When you learn to swim, then you can go into the deep end. But until you do, stay in the shadow end. Right? There's a lot of money you can be made in the shadow end. Stay there. And then what happens after you form an account? Now, keep in mind, this is a financial platform. Okay, when you sign up for an account, there's going to be a verification process. Okay, and I think that's one of the questions we're going to get into next. They're going to have to verify your identity. Sometimes it takes a couple of days because they want to do a thorough job. They want to make sure it's you that's on this platform and investing and making sure it's safe. Okay, so once you do that, you can connect your bank account and then you can start purchasing things. But until you do that, you can just look. You don't have to do anything. You can ask questions. The customer services are really good, and you can just tune in here for all the other information you need when it comes to getting started in cryptocurrency.
Crypto God, as the crypto skeptic, I'm going to add in one piece that helped me get more comfortable. What I did is I went to my bank. I set up a separate account. So my main account, where I house my money,
is not
Coinbase does not have access to.
Right.
If you're a resident crypto skeptic,
Right.
I'm going to make sure.
You ain't playing those games.
Understood.
As your skeptic, I'm going to suggest you just go to your bank. It's very easy. You just have a separate account.
Yeah.
Link those two accounts together. If you want to transfer $500, $100, $100,000, doesn't matter.
Right.
I transferred to the one account that only has the money that I'm not afraid or there's no issues if it gets hacked. And I went ahead and transferred. I've had no issues. So I use that account to go back and forth from Coinbase. If I make profits, I'll transfer it back to that account. If I want to fund my Coinbase, I'll use that account to fund it without having my main account set up. So a little suggestion there.
Right.
So I'll add a little bit there too. So we as a collective have a Coinbase account. Why? Because it's very user friendly. As Crypto God has mentioned, the service is good. It has a lot of different coins available. And that's one of the big things that you're going to really be deciding when you're choosing exchanges is, what coins are available on one that may not be available on another. And Coinbase has a wide variety. It covers all the narratives. It just checks all the boxes. It's safe. It's easy to navigate. Their mobile platform is very user friendly. So Coinbase is definitely a strong one. We're not affiliated with any of them, so we're not really pushing one versus the other. And again, non-financial advice here. Your money, your decisions. Do what makes you happy. But as a person that's looking back and thinking about first steps, I do find it very, very helpful when you are on an exchange. It's very, very easy to follow and easy to navigate. It's very user friendly too. So
FDIC insured.
Crypto God made one he just mentioned it, but it's a very, very important thing that you need to do if you're starting. Once you get your Coinbase account, you don't go wild west. Don't just start buying coins. No, do like this. This is what I did. I pretended to buy a coin. I watched that coin that I pretended to buy for whatever price it was that day and saw how it moved. I saw it went up. This is what I would have got if I had bought it. This is what I would have lost. I quickly saw there's going to be days where you lose and you win. But hold on, baby. Hold on.
Amen.
So don't just start buying coins. Just watch and play with Coinbase or Kraken.
Learn. Yep.
Yeah, and we're gonna get into some of those things in our TA segment today, guys, just to make sure that again you feel comfortable. We're not in the business of putting you out there and leaving you just pretty much stuck on the island alone. I mean, that's why you have to make sure you tune in. And if you didn't see last week's segment, make sure you go and rewatch last week's video, because we went over a lot of the early and preliminary steps that will help you along the way so that you can avoid common mistakes that all of us or a lot of us here have made. Lord knows I made my share.
Lord knows.
And you don't have to do that. That's each one.
Hallelujah.
I don't want to ever look in the comment section and someone has said something or made a mistake that we, one, have covered, and two, you were just being boneheaded, right? So we're going to stay away from the careless errors at all.
Let us make the mistakes for you. Let us be the individuals.
I made them all. I done made them. All the ones you're going to make us beginner. Trust me. I did probably make
said Murph
twice.
So hopefully you don't have to go through that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I went through that already. Please.
Listen, I'm gonna add something to this, man. Listen, so I'm of a certain age, right? Because a lot of people are like, why do we need to get into cryptocurrency? Why do we have to? Why am I going to spend money to buy money? This is all questions that I had. So I'm assuming that's the same questions you guys have. Because when I first heard crypto, I'm like, wait, what? Why would I pay money to buy money? That makes no sense whatsoever. So here's what I would tell you guys. You guys are just getting into cryptocurrency. You know, I'm of a certain age where, you know, I remember these things called phone booths. You guys may not know what this is, but essentially there were these things on every corner that had a phone in it, and if you wanted to make a phone call, you would have to go into one of these booths, put quarters in the machine to use the phone. Now, think about how far we've come from that. Think about it. I mean, now your phone is in the palm of your hand. We didn't have that. If I wanted to call Crypto Main, he had to be home. He had to be home. There's no way for me to talk to Crypto Main if he wasn't home.
Right.
And if he wasn't home, he had a voicemail. He'll go and check his machine. There was an actual machine. Separate.
It was big. And God.
So I understand your reluctance, but here's my point. The world is moving at a pace that we have really not seen, right? Bitcoin was $67 in 2013, 2014, $67. And that's when, you know, less than 1% of the world was actually using crypto. Now, 6 to 7% of the world is using crypto. Bitcoin is at $808,000
as we speak.
Dollars.
It's breaking out as we
speak. I mean,
speak,
it's something you can't avoid. It's something that I understand you have reluctance because it's new and you don't understand why we're doing it. So I try to give people a very, you know, user-friendly explanation, right? So let's say, for example, you had your electric bill was $400. You know, Venroxo is like $1,200, but let's just say regular people, your electric bill is, let's say, $400. And you know, let's say you're planning ahead, right? You have $200 in your wallet. That $200 is not enough to pay that electric bill. But if you take that $200 and you purchase XRP in that 30 days, XRP may gain you that extra $200. So now your money has made money without you doing anything. That's what cryptocurrency is. That's the best way I can explain it. Your money can actually make money, right? That $200, if it's cash, it sits there. It doesn't do anything but sit there. And whenever you open up that wallet, it's going to be $200. But if it's XRP, if it's some of these good coins that, you know, you purchase on a decent dip, you're going to make money on it. So that means you have way more money than the money you currently have. So that's
the best way. In these later shows, also make sure the audience is aware, we're going to be discussing coins to purchase. I know that's important to the audience because for me, someone, again, who is a crypto skeptic, I've bought multiple coins, but I've only bought the coins that have been discussed on the show
Yeah.
because I know that the individuals on the show are doing research behind it.
Yeah.
So for me, that adds another layer. I then do my own research, and then I'll purchase those coins, and I've made revenue that way. So, so to add that little piece, it's
that'll
coming.
give us some insight. Definitely give us some insight give you some insight on how to move forward. As God was saying, it's an evolution. It's not like a savings account. Because with a savings account, when you put your money in, you have to keep your money in there for so long, and you gain a percentage, and you may even be penalized for taking your own money out. No.
Nonsense. Yeah.
This is my money,
Right?
that you're making money off of,
Right.
And if I take my money back, so you can't make money off my money, I get penalized.
Yeah, don't get me started with them.
Nonsense.
Back to God's
Complete
point.
nonsense.
I mean, it's a situation where you can use your money to make money. And if you tune in last week we talked about a couple of exchanges where people were being advised to invest their money in a certain coin.
Yeah.
And there's a thing called decentralized exchange. Guys, can we touch on that a bit for a second to explain to everyone what a decentralized exchange is and how it's different than Coin Wallet, Kraken, or some of the other exchanges that we decide to use? I can start with you, Murph.
Yeah, sure. So decentralized, think about it. I think Crypto God kind of touched on it earlier. It's like the Wild Wild West. There's no rules. There's no regulators. It's really a lot of, if you will, if and when there's sketchy business, more times than not has happened in the decentralized space, largely because of the aforementioned. There are no rules. There's no regulators. Your money's not insured. The coins can be created by a group of people just sitting in their basement or an individual just at a computer that just is coming up with some random coin with the intentions to do harm. However, there are a lot of potential good projects that start out on decentralized exchanges. Yeah. So if we look at a lot of the coins that are on our centralized exchanges, they started off in the DeFi space, right? So you can't just take a one size fits all approach when you're looking at the perspective of decentralized versus centralized. The reason why we urge beginners to stay within their reach is because centralized exchanges has done a lot of the heavy lifting. They've vetted these coins. These coins are secure. If they don't feel strong in the project, they will either potentially delist the project off their exchange. So you know that when you're picking a project on a centralized exchange, that you don't have to worry about it more than likely being a rug pull or a scam or part of a fraudulent act. Now, nothing's 100% every time, but you can go forward with a high level of confidence that those issues are not going to be your issues when it comes to picking projects. And you want that. I mean, this space is, I think Crypto God mentioned it earlier, only 6 to 7% of the world's population is involved in cryptocurrency, this new digital asset class. And with that being such a low number, even though there's a lot of heavy and accelerated adoption, there's still just a lot to be sorted out, right? And you don't want to be a part of the trial. You don't want to be the guinea pig that's being slaughtered. So just make sure you stick to the assets that are available on decentralized exchanges, and you'll be fine.
Yep. Even Crypto Main don't walk them decentralized streets. No, brother. I'm scared of them streets, baby.
Our crypto superhero stage clear. If Wolverine can't conquer him, I advise you stay away.
And speaking with Crypto Main, so Crypto Main, what are some suggestions what are some things you would suggest that we do to protect ourselves when it comes to our wallet? We spoke about it a little bit last time. But at the end of the day, this is they consider this a volatile market. And so what are some of the things you would suggest that we do to protect ourselves against scams, protect ourselves against situations where an individual puts a lot of money in and loses? What can you do to protect us, crypto superhero?
Number one, as Ben Roxo said, setting up a separate account that doesn't have some massive amount of money in it is very important. I mean, I think that's an easy way to protect your actual bank account. Number two, don't go for the WhatsApp or the random text messages talking. I mean,
say that again, please.
We've all got those texts, man.
Random texts or emails talking about crypto. If it ain't on YouTube over here, where we're not trying to make any money off you, we're not trying to do any of that crazy stuff. We're just trying to learn crypto together. Don't trust those text messages. Yeah. So don't fall for that. There is no get rich. Buy this coin right now, and by tomorrow you will have $1 million. It
Amen.
does not happen unless you put in the work to try and find that. And even then, it ain't gonna happen. So be careful, do your homework, and learn the game properly and protect your password at all times. But number one thing, just there's no get rich quick overnight situation. This is work. You got to learn it, but once you learn it, you'll get like Crypto Murph, and boom,
easier.
It works.
Right. And so touching on that, also, obviously, with that being said, I guess that touches that kind of makes us say, you know what, we need to vet projects. And to vet a project, Vin Roxo spoke on it earlier. He said, you know what, he came to CMM, Crypto Money Movers. And he said, you know what, I looked at the projects that these guys had going and looked at what they had going on to look into a situation where I could invest in. Guys, what are some suggestions that you would give to pick certain projects? Let's start off with Crypto God.
Some suggestions to pick projects. Well, first thing is first listen to Murph when he does his technical analysis segment. That's what I do. That's what everybody on this panel does. Listen, we all have expertise in a whole bunch of different areas, man. But when it comes to crypto analysis, there's no one better, and I've seen them all, than Crypto Murph. So I promise you,
these guys.
That's the first thing you need to do.
I learned from a lot of good people.
Follow this guy. Listen to what he's talking about. What he's saying to you is what he says to us. We're sharing that information with you. We should be charging you, but we're not. We're not. We're going to give it to you for free because we want you to grow. This is the thing, man. And I told these guys this last week. I didn't come from a place where investing was taught, right? My parents didn't pass that down to me. But for these guys, I wouldn't be investing. I'll be missing out on a bunch of opportunities. So we're trying to bring people into this fold, people like me who did not grow up in this area, right? Who did not grow up investing and talking about our money making money. My money went under my mattress. Nobody was seeing that joint. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those guys, right? I'm not like Vin Roxo over here. He's been doing this for like 30 years. I'm not like him. So we want to bring people into this fold because we keep missing these opportunities. We keep missing these revolutions. We keep missing these dynamic changes in the world. We missed the Facebook, we missed the Ubers, we missed the internet, we missed all of that stuff. And people are making ridiculous money in those areas, right? So we want to bring people, and 6 to 7% is a small number. We need to bring more of us into this conversation, more of us into this game, so we can actually make money learning the future, because it is the future. There's no disputing that, guys. When was the last time you saw somebody go to an ATM? You haven't seen anybody go to an ATM in a while. They're going to be like phone booths in like a couple of years. Nobody's going to ATM machines. Homeless people now want Cash App.
Yeah, they do.
Real talk.
They do.
Right. Digital money is the future. So understand that, and once you accept it, then you'll be able to understand why we're taking the time to do this, because we're very busy people, but we're taking the time because it's important, and we want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to grow in this new era.
Right.
That's right.
And are there any suggestions, Crypto Murph, that you may have for?
Yeah.
I mean, you're the guy. You're the TA guy. So how do you pick projects?
So a few things, and I'm going to cover one of the ones that we are very, very bullish on here at Crypto Money Movers. But the first thing I do is look at the narrative, and we're going to go over this again in the TA segment. But the AI narrative, guys, across the border is just booming. It's popping. It's the hottest topic going, regardless of what sector you're in, right? So I like things that I know are practical and that a lot of people see usage and utility and a future in. AI is one of those things. If I think last week Crypto God mentioned, walking down the street and seeing one of those little robots delivering food and all that, and the self-driving cars and all that craziness to me was mind blowing. The idea of me getting in a car with nobody driving it is just, I'm years away from that. I can tell you that. It's me personally. Good luck to those who want to jump in now.
Hey, I'm jumping in.
all the best. I'll be right behind you with my fingers crossed. But
hey, I got in one of those things the other day, and we'll save that for later.
I wouldn't. I'll be freaking out. But anyway, so getting back to the point, I like narratives. I like AI. I like gaming. Those are things that are very popular. There are people that are making their living playing games online with others and competing and going to tournaments, etc. So I look at narratives. I look at utility-based narratives. What projects are actually solving a problem. And those things, then I narrow those down. I go and do some recon, and we're going to revisit our landing page, CoinMarketCap, in our segment, and just go through. I have a protocol, 4 or 5 step protocol that I like to take in consideration anytime I even think about investing in a coin. And I'm going to make sure I cover too in this segment the difference between investing in a project and trading the project. You know, people like to use these phrases very loosely, and they're not as interchangeable in this space as they may be in others or in other conversations. You know, trading something is, for me and my appetite, is a little bit more short term and more short lived, versus investing in a project that I think the price today is substantially lower than it's going to be in the future. And that future doesn't just start tomorrow. It could be, you know, it could be a month from now, 2 years from now. I'll share with you very briefly. One of the very first projects I got into, and I've been into it now for about 8 or 9 years, is probably 10x today what it was when I got into it. A 10x. And
explain what 10x means to people.
That means the money I put in then is now 10 times the amount than it was when I bought it. And that was a conservative play. It's between now and that time, it's fluctuated a lot higher as well, but it's settled right now. And it's 10 times. And this was me being early, but being disciplined and consistent, even with that project. So no, I didn't put boatloads of money in it because I was doing my research. And I said, look, some of this stuff still looks a little, as Ben Ross would say, magical and mythical. So I'm not going to mortgage the house to go put it all in one little new meme coin and hope and prayer. Hope and prayer is not a strategy in crypto. It's very unforgiving in this space if you jump in recklessly.
Crypto Murph, you've used 2 terms. I want to make sure our audience understands.
Correct.
You've talked about utility and you've talked about meme. Can you share the difference between a coin that has utility and a coin that's a meme coin, please, for audience?
Sure can. So very easy put, guys. The Dogecoin little thing, that's a meme coin. And when you say meme coin, it's just a little silly little topic or a silly little animal or name. It doesn't solve a problem. It doesn't have any user case for the project or for the coin itself, other than the fact that people think it's funny. People may, you know, it's just trading the actual novelty of that particular project. It doesn't do anything to solve the world's problems or any problem in the world. It doesn't, you know, like with XRP, which would be a utility project, it actually solves a problem or makes something better. It has cross-border transactions that are improved. The financial system is largely upgraded by utilizing the Ripple network or the Ripple blockchain technology. So these projects that have utility actually perform very similar to the way companies or equities would perform. They have a product or service, and they are solving or attempting to solve a problem. Meme coins do absolutely none of that. They're just for shits and giggles, for fun. But guess what? Some of them at billions of dollar market cap.
Yep.
Oh,
So
you can make money in both. I'm going to dumb it down. Utility coin has a function.
Yeah.
There's something that it can be done, something it can be used for.
Correct.
A meme coin is just something that's funny that can be thrown out there with any name, and it can still run up, but it doesn't have an actual function. So I just wanted to share that piece. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
I think one of the things that people need to understand when we talk about, you know, these projects and these coins and the utility of some versus the utility of others, you know, just because it doesn't have utility doesn't mean it doesn't have value. Like he just said,
Absolutely.
These are billion-dollar market caps, right? So market share. So you need to understand that, yes, it may not have a function or a utility, but research the coin, research what it's been trading at in order for you to realize you can still make some money of it. Now you might be able to jump in and jump right back out, right? You might not want to hold it too long, but some of these coins you can make a ton of money on. So follow us, because we're going to talk about meme coins. We're going to talk about stable coins. We're going to talk about, you know, the ones that have utilities and stuff like that. Those are probably some stuff you want to talk about when you are looking at long-term investments. But, you know, just because it doesn't have utility, it doesn't have value, because as long as people attach value to it, that's where you make money, right? So just want to put that out there.
Definitely. So to segue into that, I think we're going to go into a little bit of technical analysis. We call that TA. And Crypto Murph is going to break down a couple of things for us. You know what I'm saying? He's going to make the math. Make everything make sense.
Get your notebook. Get your notebook and pen and pad and paper, baby.
Right.
Good people, it's your boy Crypto Murph, and boy, do I have a gem for you today. So make sure that you're paying close attention because the people have spoken and they want to know what is a project that you and the CMM family are bullish on. So again, it's our job to get the people what they want. But before we get kicked off, there was some homework that was supposed to be done from last week. I hope you did your homework. Let's recap. Our first thing we were supposed to have done, it was supposed to be right here on our landing page, which is CoinMarketCap. Just to scroll through, further familiarize yourself with CoinMarketCap. As we mentioned earlier, narratives are here, gaming, AI, Solana memes, as we spoke of, as well as all your top coins and all your starting points for any projects that you're potentially looking at investing in. So that was your first homework assignment. Your second homework assignment was to sign up for TradingView Basic, which is free, absolutely free, because I'm going to be touching on TradingView when we go over this gem that I'm going to be dropping on you guys that we're extremely bullish on and we think is going to perform first. So before I pull up and reveal what that gem is, let's look at our fear and greed index. And our fear and greed index is 50 right now, which is neutral. Now, I want you to keep that number in mind because as we see, Bitcoin is breaking out literally as we speak. Bitcoin is currently trading at 108,700 approximately. And it's been, I think all day, it's been in a what's called inverted head and shoulders pattern, which typically break up to the upside. And that's exactly what we're seeing happen. You always hear Crypto Murph say, show me the charts and I'll tell you the news. So the charts have been screaming at us guys for the last, I would say probably 2 or 3 days, and Bitcoin has been sitting, just forming and consolidating, ready for this, what appears to be now somewhat of a breakout. So does that mean this is a good bullish week for us upcoming? We don't know. Price action, has a mind of its own. It does what it wants to do. But let's jump into exactly what we're gonna look at for our TA segment in regards to TradingView. Now, as we've established last week, we have protocols. We don't set up accounts and then just go throw money at them. So I'm going to reveal what it is. It is SEI. You heard it here first, guys. SEI, say. I'm going to pull up say. And as we always do with all our projects before we jump into anything, is do a top-down analysis. It's the 51st ranked crypto coin. It has a $1.67 billion market cap. I did say billion with the B. All the socials are there. I can see the contract. It has an audit, which makes me feel a lot more comfortable with. So I know it's not anybody trying to steal my money. And then you know what? I don't know much about Say from you. So let me just see what this whole Say thing is. So, and I'm going to give you guys a translation of pretty much what this is. Layer 1 blockchain, the scale is the EVM. EVM stands for Ethereum Virtual Machine. You're probably like, well, what the hell is that? Well, simply put, Say pretty much helps people like yourself and like us who want to purchase crypto and make sure those transactions can go through very fluently and quickly. Because what we've seen in the past on the blockchains is that when a lot of people are excited about a crypto project, it sometimes causes the blockchain, if you will, to bottleneck. It's almost, think about it like your interstate. When everybody is leaving work doing rush hour, you're going to be in traffic. Well, if you're trying to get somewhere quickly or make a transaction or purchase quickly, you don't want congestion. And this particular project we spoke about utility has utility, and it solves and helps enhance that issue so that we don't have congestion on the blockchain. So let's go ahead and jump on over to TradingView and look at Say. So I've done some preliminary recon for you guys. And if you're looking at my chart and thinking, what in the world? Calm yourself. If you've done your homework from last week, then your chart is more than likely going to look similar to this. You're going to have red candles. You're going to have green candles. You're going to see some ups and downs. And you're going to be like, okay, well, this looks cool. Well, as I mentioned earlier, Bitcoin is experiencing a little bit of a breakout right now. So to no surprise, you see some of these other coins pushing up right along with Bitcoin. And when I look at this chart, the first thing that sticks out to me, and again, bear with me, guys, all this stuff is going to be like secondhand and second nature to you guys the second you get it. We're in a flag pattern. We see a massive rip up, green, all this is going up. And this is in the 4-hour time frame. I choose a 4-hour time frame because it gives me more of a macro perspective as to how the particular project is performing. Each one of these candles represents 4 hours. And the second I see this, I'm thinking, wow, this thing is going up. I see a little bit of a retest here. So I immediately go to what I call a flag pattern. And we're going to go over all these things and continue to grow and learn together. So don't overwhelm yourself with not understanding all the particulars. But I'm going to pull up what I call the spaghetti on the charts. And these are the lines. When I pull those up, I see a flag. And I'm going to enlarge it so you can see it. Pull it right in the center of my screen. So what I see here when I'm looking at, say, on the 4-hour time frame, is I see that my moving average, which is one of my key indicators for if I want to get in a project, is what's called coming into price action. We're getting close to one of the candles. And I know that based off my learnings, that this has a measured move if it breaks out of what's called this flag pattern that you see here. That's one of the key things you're going to constantly hear us talk about is patterns and what do the measured moves typically mean in terms of performance or price action. It doesn't happen all the time. Nothing in crypto is guaranteed and nothing is, certain to be 100%. But if we're looking at Say, and why I'm so excited at Say is because all my indicators tell me we could really get a push here. My RSI, and I want you to remember that because that's going to be one of your homework assignments between now and our time together next week. Our RSI is sitting at a very safe and a very good space for our 4-hour time frame. Our stochastics looks like we're about to get a little bit of a turn up, and our MACD is giving us signs that we could be getting ready for a movement up as well. It's not a confirmation yet, but they all look like they're kind of consolidating, if you will, and getting ready for a potential play. So am I saying that I'm going to go get off the live tonight and put, all my life savings in this coin? Absolutely not. Am I saying that it's on my radar? And I think that this utility with this coin has a lot of potential upside sooner than later. And I think when we start to get a lot of upside in the market, I think Say is going to be one of the leaders of that. So let me show you very briefly what we did to get a measured move. So you're wondering, okay, well, Max, you're talking all this TA, Crypto Murphy talking all this TA. What does that mean if I get into it? What kind of potential profit? Well, let me pull it up for you. I'm glad you asked. What we do is we take the measured move based off how the price actions perform so far. So if this particular project breaks out, we could see a potential measured move. And I've already drawn the lines for you guys. 74%, which would take our price from where we are right now, roughly 30 cents, to 52 cents and 83. That's called a measured move. And I like to draw, everything on my chart so I don't have to play a guessing game as to what is the potential. Now, does this mean this is going to happen overnight? No. Typically speaking, with price action, you may see a breakout of this flag. It shoots up half this pole, consolidates some more, then continues to rip up to our target. And that time frame could be anywhere from a day, a week, a month. But based off our technical analysis and our breakdown and our probability, again, we make smart, disciplined, and very, very, very high risk trades here, which is why you have to tune in and subscribe and like, because you're not going to understand entries and exits if you don't understand the measured move and the probability of your trades and when you get in them. So what I'll do is I'm going to leave this here and we're going to clip this out so that if you want to revisit this segment this week on our YouTube channel, you'll be able to look at Say and look specifically at our TA that we're looking at in terms of price action for Say. And before I leave, I'm going to pull up a smaller time frame. I like to look at the 1-hour time frame as well. And what I can see here, let me reset the chart here. If I pull here, I can see that we're in that same triangle. My 21 is touching price action, and I can see my measured move here as well. This is a coin that looks good to me and looks ready to potentially move to the upside. So your homework for next week, 2 things. I want you to spend some time back at our landing page on CoinMarketCap and specifically at Say, so that you can just track and see what it does. Do not go and ape into Say because you heard some people talk about it on the internet. These are projects that we feel bullish about and that I have money in because I've done some recon and we're putting them out in front of you and showing you and giving the explanation why. So make sure you look at Say and its price action. That's homework assignment number one. Secondly, keep an eye on fear and greed. As we mentioned last week on our segment, we don't like buying greed or premium prices. As this dot starts to linger towards the green, the more we're not buying Bitcoin or these projects at these premium prices. We like buying over here in the orange and in the red, guys. So make sure you keep an eye on your fear and greed index this week. And then lastly, I mentioned when we were on TradingView, one of our key indicators is this top little line, and it probably looks like maybe something off of an EKG to you. This is called your RSI, Relative Strength Index. Your homework assignment for between now and next Sunday, when we get back together, is just simply Google Relative Strength Index, because we're going to be breaking down what it means, how it influences price action, and how we can best use it to make sure we're getting in and out of our trading and investment opportunities for whatever coins we're looking at. So until then, guys, I'm going to kick it back to the studio. It's your boy, Crypto Murph. Can't wait to see you again next time.
I'm gonna tell you something. If I may, for 1 second. For 1 second.
I hope I didn't make your brain explode.
This is to my YouTube brothers and sisters out there. Breathe.
Right.
Just breathe right now, because what you just experienced, you are either having a what the F moment, or you're welcome. We just gave it to you. We just gave you the whole thing. So just breathe with me.
I'm gonna tell you, Crypto Murph, as a skeptic, but somebody who likes the charts, likes the TA, I'm gonna tell you what I learned as somebody who's not been adept in crypto and is still learning along with everybody else. You've got a potential for a 74% upside, and if it reaches that 52 cents, I'm looking for another bull flag to know if we're going higher, or I'm looking for a sell at that point. Correct. So now I've got a relative perspective on when I should buy, when I should sell, and how to make money based on real technical analysis.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
for me, I like it. I can make money that way. I'll do my research and we'll see what's going on. And I'll catch you to the bull flag. I'm gonna keep riding it out.
That's right.
Yeah,
And guys, feel free to. Here's a beautiful thing. Again, proper risk management and consistency is our go-to here. If you decide to jump into Say or see at any point you want, and you say, I just want to make a 10% return. When you get 10%, feel free to jump out.
Yeah.
You know, it's your money, your decision. Do whatever makes you happy. Our job is just to give you the highest probability plays and let you make the decision that you feel comfortable with. Everybody's at a different place. So keep that in mind.
70%, Murph. If there's a bull flag, I'm rolling it for another 70. We'll do the TA next week on this thing.
I'll say this. I know my head still hurts from that TA, and I've been with him for a while. So if you're new to this, man, and I know everything he just said is a foreign language to you. I promise you, it gets easier. You're going to get it. Listen, I graduated from law school with honors at the top of my class. I've been practicing law and have my firm for 18 years, and my head hurts listening to that. So I understand the reluctance, and it gets easier, it gets better. But these are the things you have to know, because it's going to be second nature to you, like in a very short window. You know what I mean? And it's going to make you a lot of money. So please tune into this guy. He knows what he's talking about. We all are, bought in. So trust me, he does his thing. So and don't let the analysis scare you.
I'm not doing TA. I'm looking at first TA. Exactly. With that, that's where I'm at.
Be smart.
That's the thing. That's the thing about this.
Doing TA.
Anytime you invest in something, you need to have some type of knowledge about it. And we're trying to give you guys that knowledge today. We're trying to give you the introductory knowledge so you can learn it yourself. We're not going to say that you're going to draw charts like Crypto Murph, because none of us do, and I probably will never be able to, just to be honest with you. But we do have a general understanding of it to be able to follow it. And that's what we're trying to get you, you know, like just now, my head's hurt too. I'm not going to lie. But I will tell you this. This is not financial advice, but we do have money in these projects. We have money in these projects. We're not just saying this to say it. We are following this advice and we are benefiting off this advice. So I just want you guys to understand that, you know, this is a learning curve, and we want to be able to help you follow that learning curve and be able to achieve financial freedom by following us and following our advice. And with that being said, you know, we don't have too much long left on here. And guess what? We've had a lot of stuff going on with the past few weeks. But one thing we did have going today, we had the craziest thing we saw that Crypto Main is going to explain to you. And the craziest thing we saw today in Crypto Main, please explain what the craziest thing you saw today in crypto.
My YouTube brothers and sisters, what we saw is something that commonly happens. Allegedly, there was someone who took $50,000 of their grandmother's money, and instead of putting it into a high yield checking account, they put 20,000 in a coin, 20,000 in a coin, and 10,000 in another. And that 50,000 dropped by 60%. And now the grandmother is asking where her money is. Now,
they just took grandma's money.
May seem crazy to some people, but it is a common mistake in crypto. Because if you get in thinking that every single coin is going to be an immediate high yield result, turnover immediately, it just is not going to happen. As crypto God was talking about earlier, you've got to ride some of these things out. It's not an immediate return on your money. So just be careful out there. What this person did, it wasn't malicious. It wasn't bad. It wasn't something that's not going to happen time and time again. You just have to understand you are not going to get an immediate return unless you're somebody like Crypto Murph or some super genius in this game.
I wish.
He only got like that by looking at this YouTube channel.
I want to touch on that because I saw the article too, Crypto Man, and it really made me shake my head because at some point you ask yourself, when is this nonsense going to end? And it seems to just be like history repeating itself over and over again, because people who are doing this are the same people that are reading about a story that happened just like this before they're doing it. And that's the part that really blows my mind. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, this guy, I'm sure his intentions were well. He took his grandmother's money. She approved of it and consented and said, look, okay, I don't know anything about this crypto space. You seem to be very, passionate about it. So I'm going to okay you putting my retirement into it. The first mistake, first of all, let's just go to the first mistake.
Wait. I'm sorry. Listen.
What? I'm like,
if it was his money, I doubt he would put all that money into the Trump coin. I'm sorry. It's not. It's $50,000. But I'll let you go. Go ahead.
So listen, guys. Let's start with, I guess, the silver lining. The silver lining is, unless he's sold those projects, it's just a paper loss, because you don't lose when you buy a spot until you actually decide to unload or sell the project. Yep. So, but to the point, he still may be in those projects for a long time before he breaks even. But the first mistake is never, ever, ever recommend anything unless you are an expert. Never listen to someone or take their recommendations unless you feel comfortable with their level of expertise in something. This is not Donald Trump is going to pump the coin, let me put my life savings in it. That is nonsense. That is ill-advised. That is bad investing. You will lose your money. You will lose your money, guys. Don't do that.
And to that point,
and Lord knows who'll take your grandma's money.
Right. Grandma's money.
Can I add a little bit here? Here's what's the problem.
To that point, guys. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brent Roxon.
As of right now, that we're on track to end 2025 with over 100 million cryptocurrencies. There was 37 million cryptocurrencies that came out this month.
Jesus.
My thing, how am I going to figure out which I'm going to buy unless I look at Crypto TA and decide, hey, these look good and these don't? I don't have the time or the resources right now to go through 37 million coins. So my thing is, this guy should have watched Crypto Murph.
Oh yeah.
From there.
Say word.
And to that point, guys, look, what we are advising you from the standpoint of education, not the standpoint of certain coins. We are going to tell you what coins we're involved in, but we're not saying, hey, you should go get this, you should go get that. We're saying that we educated ourselves when it came to this specific project, and that's why we're invested in it. So we're not telling you to, hey, run and follow us or do everything that we're doing. We're not trying to give you financial advice when it comes to that. We're trying to give you advice when it comes to education. We want to educate you. We want you to learn. We want you to make sure that you are 100% well-versed in the projects that you decide to jump into. Right. So when you jump into Trump coin, when you jump into Mandy,
I knew that was coming.
Projects that, you know what I'm saying, may not necessarily just pan out. You know, just understand we are trying to advise you from the educational standpoint and making sure that we can put you in a better position when it comes to investing in currency.
Well, let me jump in for a second. I will say this: there are projects he could have gotten into.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah,
a lot of
for that type of investment. And if you're going to put a lot of money into a project, it can't be something that's brand new. It has no history. Unless you're just trying to jump in and jump out, and if you are a trader, you know what I mean. Like that's the game you play. But you're looking at grandmama's money. Put some research in that thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Definitely be doing that. There are definitely projects that you could have definitely made grandmother a sweet return on. I mean, very sweet. But
a little risk. Solana, XRP, Ethereum.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
and you just nailed it. Even if he had this, this uncontrollable passion for cryptocurrency, which a lot of newbies do, and it makes perfect sense. If you're gonna put grandmama's 50K in something, just park it in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Guess what, guys? Yeah. Bitcoin is not gonna be. I can tell you now, if Bitcoin go down, there's a lot of other stuff you're gonna have to worry about, and when grandma retirement ain't gonna be one of them. I can promise you that. So if you're gonna make a boneheaded decision, which we strongly advise against, at least be safe in the dumb decision. Does that make sense? Let me say it again. Yeah. If I want to just go if I got money to burn and I just want to go throw some money away or try to whatever, put it in Bitcoin and leave it there. Show back up next year. I've got a really good feeling it's going to be worth more than it is today. Yeah. And that's just being smart.
It's being smart when it comes to financial. So guys, we don't have much time left. So what we're about to do right now is we're going to wrap things up. We're going to wrap things up and let everybody give their closing statement. We're going to start with Crypto Main, and we're going to get up out of here, and we'll be back next week. Crypto Main, closing out.
I'll see you next week. I screenshotted all of the stuff Crypto Murph did on his It's free, so I did it.
All right. Next up, Crypto God.
Listen, we all are, you're going to hear a lot of stuff about, future investments, trading versus investing, and just follow the channel, learn the ropes. You're going to need this stuff. It's not going anywhere. You're going to need it. So as bad as your head hurts from listening to Crypto Murph just now, remember our heads did the same thing, like last year, like a year ago. It's going to get better. It's going to get easier. You're going to make money. We just don't want you to miss out on an opportunity because you don't understand it, because that's what I did. I've done that all my life. I've missed out on so many opportunities because I didn't understand it. But you can't do that. You have to understand that people are getting involved in this thing for a reason, and people are making money. And if you want to make money, you need to be open-minded and understand the way that technology is going, the way transactions are going, the way people are spending money. One universal currency is the next step. We already have free, international phone calls. I can call somebody in South Asia right now. It's going to be free. I can video, conference with them. It will be free versus not that long ago. You had to buy a calling card to call somebody, overseas. It's going to that direction. All the governments are getting behind it. All the big corporations are getting behind it. Don't be left behind. There's a lot of money to be made, but be smart. Follow the channel. We're here to help you.
That's right.
All right. Hey, and next up, Ben Roxel.
Listen, that dude Crypto Murph is giving away free game.
Man, isn't he,
Trading
though?
stocks for 20 years. A bull flag is a bull flag. A bull flag in the stock market and equities. The same thing as a bull flag in crypto. The technical analysis is on point. And I mean, you know when to get in, when to get out. I've made a lot of money in the stock market. I'm now planning on doing the same thing in crypto. The difference is I now have a pool to choose from and a guide to guide me through the way. So I just want to thank Crypto Murph for that. And just say that, it's no different, So let's make this money together.
Oh, and last but not least, Crypto Murph.
Yes, sir. So good people, I hope you enjoyed it, had some takeaways. You understand your homework assignment for next week from our TA segment. I will be the first to tell you, if your head is spinning, I promise you, everyone when they first started was, but it's just like we always mention, this is our crypto journey and we're going to take it together. And every journey starts with the first step. The first step is just being bold enough to say, what? I'm going to do the homework assignment. I'm going to sign up for Trading View Basic. I'm going to look at the charts. I'm going to start going through them with Crypto Murph when he's doing his TA. He's going to help explain to me what price action is and probability. And just, we'll see kind of how it plays out. But just the education, guys, that's where it starts. And you guys have already made that first step by tuning in. But make sure that you like, subscribe. We'll be here again next Sunday. You have your homework assignment. Make sure you do those things. And we're going to be making all that TA stuff that looks like it's just a bunch of just, the stuff that makes your head spin. It's so ever so simple. I looked at it the same way the first time I closed my computer. I said, nah, I'm all set. I look at it now and I'm like, but why? I was just not open-minded. Right. And I'm looking at it now. I'm like, this is like speaking, it's like speaking your native tongue. It's not that difficult. I promise you guys. So make sure you lock in what has been, like I always tell you, show me the charts. Maybe I'll tell you the news. Crypto Murph, until next time, I'll see you guys.
Yes, sir. And so just to remind you guys, we are here to educate you, entertain you, and encourage you to become financially free. And we are the crypto money movers. We're involved in this crypto game, and we ain't
never getting out.
It's the next week. We'll see you then.